Growing up, my dad used to have a theory about training. He believed that running up mountains built a unique kind of runner, one that was stronger, faster, and as mentally tough as the hard rocks which lie within the mountain's depths. Even though my dad never observed pro runners running up ski slopes, he always had an unrelenting confidence that if you want to be fast, if you want to be tough, if you want to be strong, you head to the mountains. My dad wasn't the only one to discover the power of the mountains. King David of old knew it when he penned, "I lift up my eyes to the mountains, where does my strength come from?" And Jesus would often retreat to the mountains before his biggest, most important moments in life to pray and strengthen himself. In fact, in almost every faith tradition, there's a sacred mountain. And I've felt the sacredness of every mountain I've ever set foot on as I humbly come to be trained. There's a purity that I find in the mountains. In a world that is often all about answering the question, how good are you? The mountains only invite us to come and test your strength in its shoulders without passing judgment on how good we are. It doesn't care if you're a world-class runner, if you've never run a step in your life. It presents the same test to us all. There are no medals, no comparison traps, no times. In fact, all the performance metrics we use are eliminated. It's just you on the mountain being pushed to become both externally and internally stronger. The purity of what sport is meant to be is found, just a human testing their strength and endurance on creation's most perfect testing ground. I found no purer and sweeter place to be. Part right now. Just did this gnarly climb up here. Got some more gnarly stuff in front of us. Luckily, our camera crew, someone had some poles, Claire, so she's saving us right now. So got some poles, just ran up, scouted this area, and made some tracks. So hopefully I get some traction taking these up. But I'm kind of more concerned about that right now, actually, more than anything. Got these big gnarly clouds rolling in, so now I didn't think this was going to be a speed thing, but it might turn into a speed thing. So we're keeping our eye on the weather. We're going to be smart. Not going to die up here on this mountain, but I'm going to keep pushing on for now. In the genesis of my running career when I was 13, there were many a days spent in the mountains. I would spend hours upon hours running up the slopes that were designed for skiing, snowboarding, and biking down. Some of these days my dad's brothers, friends, or training partners would join me, but there were many times when it was just me in the mountains. The morning would turn to afternoon while I ran treacherous routes that would take me up double black diamond runs, reducing me to the most humbling of a near crawl of a running pace. I spent hours exploring my innermost depths trying to find the strength to simply stay on my feet and not walk. I didn't know it at the time, but the mountain was shaping me. It was shaping me in the same way a sculptor shapes a pot. It was teaching me how to hurt, how to take the next step when every part of my flesh is screaming at me to stop, how to suffer, not just over a period of 30 minutes that it would take me to complete one run up the mountain, but how to keep coming back for more hour after hour. The mountain taught me how to collect myself with breath when the air is so thin and the exertion is so great that I felt like I was breathing through a small fraction of my lungs. The mountain taught me resilience, how to get back up after a stumble and falling. The mountain taught me that I'm able to go so much harder, deeper, and further into pain than my mind allows me to believe. The mountain taught me to not look too far up the path, lest I become discouraged by how far away I am from the summit, but rather to just focus on the next step I'm taking, remaining present in this moment. The mountain taught me that usually there's a place in the ascent where I'm convinced I can't make it, that there's no way to the top. It'd be so much better to just call it, turn around, and go home. But if I break through this pivotal breaking point moment and push on, this is when the breakthrough occurs, and this is when the most mental fortitude is built. Today, the mountain still draws me in like ice cream on a scorching hot summer day. Life may change, my body may change, goals may evolve, but the ever-changing, ever-shifting mountain never stops drawing me back, to teach me, to train me, to make me stronger, and form me into someone I would otherwise not be. When I want perspective, when I want to test myself, when I'm ready to learn, I head to the mountains, and I'm never disappointed. I always emerge from the mountains stronger than I came, with a deeper understanding about who I really am, and with a sense of peaceful clarity about the world. As I near the summit of this epic challenge, perhaps the most physically testing moment I've ever experienced in the mountains, there was one thought that captured me. I feel so alive. I felt the assuredness that I was right where I was supposed to be, doing exactly what I was meant to be doing in that moment. The world all made sense. Reality was perfect. It's this sacred, tingly skin moment as I looked out over the never-ending vastness of the Colorado mountains that I came here for, that I needed, that I so desperately was searching out. Perfection. You may be wondering if my dad's running up the ski slopes in the mountains theory worked. Not only was the backbone of my career built on this theory, resulting in becoming the fastest American to ever run the marathon and half marathon distances, but other high school records fell, multiple national titles were won, and many state team and individual titles ensued over my dad's tenure from the time he launched the Big Bear High School cross country and track teams until his retirement. But I like to think that the greatest results weren't the external accomplishments, but rather the internal change in each and every athlete that experienced the mountains for themselves. We were all transformed into better human beings that could go deeper within, pick ourselves up when we fail, and have an unrelenting drive to reach any summit that life may hold.